YMI, 43 female. So obsessed with the woman, 29 female, my husband, 41 male, had an emotional affair with? My, 43F, husband, 41M. Admitted to having an emotional affair that nothing physical ever went on. Both he and the woman in question, 29F, an ex-coworker, had deleted messages between them and spent a day together on a business trip out of town and returned that evening. I knew nothing about any of it. Lies persisted for months. But my husband says he was just afraid of my reaction and that he was trying to minimize the damage as nothing physical ever transpired. It took about 2 months of basically stalking cell phones, emails, locations to pull this truth out of him. My issue is that I am so angry that this even happened that I want to get this woman to talk. I wanna tell her all the AWOLT hinge he said and done to both of us. I know it's not her fault. He's married to me, not her. But she knew we were married and had wrecked another coworker's home a year prior. But I just don't trust it. I hate her for lying with him if nothing happened. I've already tortured him and we're trying to reconcile, but this psychotic voice in my head keeps telling me there's more I'm missing. Andy can't shake it. I am far more attractive and an excellent wife, but he basically abandoned me when I needed him most. My father and cousin died within weeks of his indiscretion. I thought he was giving me space to grieve when in fact he was seeking attention from another woman. Help. Added. I've met her several times and she had been to parties at our home. We were friendly but definitely not friends. I approached her initially to ask her to share the text messages he had deleted to ease my mind, and she did so in a friendly and willing manner. It wasn't until I received the next phone bill that I realized she, too, was lying and had deleted threads of messages in her screenshots. I actually called her out on it and she got kind of petty and irritated with me, telling me not to mix her up in my marriage issues. I'm really not looking to blame her so much as see if she would be inclined to give me info I don't already have. Like if she knew he tried to get her fired, messed with her money and fully jeopardized her lifestyle. Maybe she wouldn't be so keen on keeping his secrets. Like rat him out. IDK. He came clean in a few things I didn't expect that were related but not physical cheating. I have filed for separation. I am currently in therapy. I have proof he's a liar. I don't have proof otherwise. But not knowing what they hid beyond a car ride and some messages is driving me crazy. At this point, he had his chance to come clean. If I had proof, I would leave permanently. He and she don't sound worth it. Let her and him implode and move on. You don't deserve that. They spent a day together out of town and nothing physical happened? Seriously? Good thing they took the word gullible out of the dictionary. Being far more attractive and an excellent wife doesn't stop men from cheating. I can understand your rationale with wanting to reach out to her, but nothing positive will come from it if you are trying to reconcile. Because you are looking for a reason for your cheating and don't trust him. It's easier for you to focus and blame her. Even though you say you don't, you do. Neither of them is worth all this BS. Therapy. That's what you need. I 29F am disappointed after ring shopping with my partner 35F. My 29F partner, 35F, and I have been together for about 7 years. We knew we wanted to get married probably since about a year after being together. When we were first dating I was young and none of my close friends were married yet, so I had no concept of what to expect for engagement rings, so I didn't have any specific expectations. But my girlfriend had always said to me that she wanted to buy me a big rock. One so big and bright it will blind people. I always laughed because it was mostly just funny to me. But over the years she would say it over and over again, so I began to imagine a pretty nice rock. This year, we decided that we finally want to move in together. Our situation has been complicated by family, cultural dynamics, which is why it took so long, and decided we should get married first before moving in. So we went to look at engagement rings. I tried on multiple rings and asked my girlfriend for feedback for each one. We found one we both liked. She said specifically that a 1.5 carat diamond looked better to her than a 1 carat on my hand. We happily decided and went home. Then she received the quote and the ring was about $8,000, whereas she had anticipated spending about $6K. For reference, we have expected salaries in the 6 figures range. I told her initially that it was okay to not get the ring since it was beyond our expected budget. But to be honest, I was feeling disappointed. My girlfriend could tell I wasn't happy, so we talked about how I felt. When I suggested we look at other rings or get a smaller stone to fit our budget, She said she didn't think we should compromise since we already found the right ring, and she didn't want me to always feel upset if I looked at a compromised ring forever. So we decided to still get the ring after all. But I've noticed that ever since deciding to get the ring again, my girlfriend has started to be more sensitive about saving money in places we normally would not be as particular about. For example, not wanting to eat out as much or not buying something for entertainment that she previously would not have batted an eye at. It makes me feel guilty and conscious that this ring is affecting how we live for at least the next while. I feel torn. I think the bigger person thing to do will be to say no to the ring so that my girlfriend won't be under any pressure, but I would be lying if I said I won't feel some disappointment. Am I being too greedy and should just let the ring go? Is there another better way to compromise in our situation? I don't really understand why you're surprised, guilty that it's affecting your overall expenses and having your partner be more conscious of what you guys are spending. The extra money has to come from somewhere. It sounds like your partner is aware how important the ring is to you, so is willing to make those adjustments to make it work. You feeling guilty about that is ultimately something you need to come to terms with. It's not her guilting you to make you feel bad, it's her simply making sure she can afford it. She's being sensible. If you're going to be disappointed with a different ring, then you simply need to deal with the changes it's going to make. It seems like your partner is okay with it. You're acting a bit like a princess. Also, I strongly recommend moving in together before you get married. If you don't want this ring because you don't really like it or want that big a stone, be honest with her about that. Otherwise, I don't know why you're so insistent that not getting it would be a favor to her. Similarly, if your budget can absorb the extra expense without her cutting back on things to this extent, sit down with her and talk through why it's going to be okay. But I don't know why you think a bit of temporary penny pinching is a bigger deal than something that's supposed to be a lifetime investment if she's willing to make the sacrifice. You should ask the store if they offer trade-ins to upgrade the size of the diamond later. Usually they all offer a full trade. Maybe get the 1 quart and discuss sizing up for a later anniversary? 8K seems high for a lab diamond that is 1.5C. Take the style and do more research. How can I, 19F, accept the fact that my dad, M39, is marrying a woman closer to my age than to his? Update. Okay, so firstly, thank you for everyone who took the time to comment. I appreciate everyone's opinions, whether they differ to mine or not. I feel like my concerns may have been misunderstood, probably poor wording from me. My concern isn't the age gap between the two of them. Yes, I agree he is able to marry whoever he wants. I am well aware of that, so thank you to those who felt the need to point that out. What bothers me is that she is so close to my age, and felt the need to make that comment. That is what bothers me, not the age difference between them. Yes, me and him have almost no relationship, but that doesn't mean that I am against one with him in the future. And I really want to support him, it's just that comment from her really bugged me. And #X200B. Before I get into this, I know everything that he is doing is perfectly legal, and if he is happy then that is the main thing, but it just makes me feel weird and I don't know how to react, so would love some opinions. So my parents divorced about 10 years ago. After this I lived with my mom, and she has since remarried, and my new stepdad is cool and I have step-siblings who are cool too. After the divorce my dad disappeared and he only came back into my life very sporadically around 6 months ago. Over the past few months, the few times we have spoken he kept telling me how he was seeing someone who he was really into and was excited for me to meet etc. Then about 2 weeks ago he asked to FaceTime me and wanted to introduce me to his fiancée. This was the first I heard that he was engaged. Anyway, this woman he is planning on marrying is 25. Now I know that age gaps are okay, but I just feel so weird about it. I am trying to be happy for him, but it's hard because 1, I don't really know him that well anymore, and 2, I just find the whole scenario weird. IDK if I am being immature or unreasonable, but on this video call the woman was like, I want you to know that I'm not here to replace your mom, but if you ever need anything you can come to me. And I was just thinking sis, you're literally 6 years older than me? I was going to put this post up a few weeks ago, but I was really cross and emotional and have since calmed down. Does anyone have any tips on how I can get past this and be supportive of the marriage? I feel you're focusing on the wrong thing. He disappeared for nearly a decade. Perhaps going against the grain here, but I think it's okay to lose respect for him over this, and for essentially dipping out of your life for years, and go low contact. He is not entitled to your support of this. Wait, so your dad left you high and dry for 10 years and now has come back and is getting married to someone your age. And your concern is how do you accept it? I turned 40 this year. The idea of dating someone under 30 is a giant nope. I totally understand you being weirded out and even losing respect for your father. Does anyone have any tips on how I can get past this and be supportive of the marriage? Honestly, you don't have to be supportive of the marriage. You can accept that the situation is what it is and not like it. You don't have to be antagonistic, but you also don't have to embrace the situation. Especially if you're not interested in forging a closer relationship with your father, after he disappeared for 10 years. Accept can simply mean you acknowledge that it is what it is and there's nothing you can do about it. It does not have to mean you like the idea and agree with it. She, 36F, slept with him 7 years ago, but wasn't 6 years, for me, 37M. 7 years ago my girlfriend, currently 36F, broke up with me, currently 37M, slept with her trainer, then got back with me. She lied when we got together and swore she hadn't slept with anyone because she knew that was a deal breaker. I was too busy pining after her like a loser. Within a year of being back together, she confessed to sleeping with someone but wouldn't tell me who. We had been together for a few months, everything had been great. I felt that even though she lied, robbing me of my choice, why break up when everything had been so good? I decided to work through it. We ended up getting pregnant just a few months after that. Our daughter is currently 6. Yesterday she confessed to me that the situation from 7 years ago was her trainer. Not only is it some basic level cliché BS, but here's the kicker. She's been working out with this trainer off and on for years. Now, at this point, I'm not even exactly angry at the fact she fucked someone else, we already worked through that. But every time she went out the door to go train with this guy that she fucked, I feel like was an act of disrespect. And we all know men would rather have a woman's respect than her love, or at least this guy does, and she clearly does not respect me. Training 5 days a week, which is her actual cadence, for 6 months of this year gets you 120 days. 120 times she knew what she was doing was wrong, and did it anyway. Assuming she started training in July of last year. I don't know when exactly she started training with him last year, that's 240 days, choices total. And that's this time. Like I said, they've been training, off and on for years. I broke up with her. She's pressing that, 1, it was so long ago, and 2, she meant no disrespect. Am I tripping or not? Every time she went to train, it was disrespect whether she meant it or not. And she knew it because in this American culture we all instinctively know she had to choose one. Do you want to keep seeing the trainer? Cool. Don't get back with that man. Do you want to be back with that man? Cool. Don't see the trainer. It's easy. She wanted to have her cake and eat it, too. Clearly. So it's not 7 years ago, for me because the last time she trained with him was earlier this month. Too long did not read. Girlfriend, 36F, fucked trainer and kept working out with him for years after. Now she wants me, 37M, to forgive and move on because it's so old, even though the last time she worked out with him was a couple weeks ago. Nah, she can kick rocks. That woman has some nerve. Are sure the kid is even yours? Especially if she's been training with him on and off all this time. Edit. ID get a paternity test immediately. Good for you, she's a liar and honestly, if she continued working with that guy, it is very likely they slept together again. Based on your other comment, she only confessed because the truth will come out pretty soon. So she just beat them to it. She confessed. But, pretty sure there's still a lot in the closet. Leave her and don't spare her when your daughter asks in the future what happened.